I'd like to place you at the intersection, Professor Heifetz, where worlds are colliding, worlds of authority with its challenges, worlds where there are technical challenges. And we ask leaders to negotiate the traffic at these intersections. You and your colleague, Marty Linsky, talk about the faces of danger that leaders confront at these intersections. Would you care to elaborate?
Well, I think when people represent a tough question to other people, when you're raising tough questions, when you're beginning to point out the internal contradictions in people, I mean, people don't like to feel that they're living with an internal contradiction. People like to feel that they're coherent, not that they're incoherent. Schizophrenia is a disease. So nobody wants to feel that they've got a disease. Nobody wants to feel that they are a hypocrite, ethically. And yet we do all live with these internal contradictions. So when one points those contradictions out, one says, listen, you know, let's figure out how we're going to rectify this. Let's figure out how we can clarify which of our orienting values do we most care about, and on which are we going to try to live by. And of course, it's going to take a generation or two, but let's start. When you raise those questions, you become an endangered species. People will push back. People will feel attacked. When you raise, even as a social scientist or a physical scientist, when you raise data before people's eyes and say, look at this data, you know, Shanghai's going to go underwater. Wow. Miami's going underwater. The farm belt of California is going to go dry. In 50 years, the only place they'll be farming in the U.S. is in the North Midwest. I mean, do you have any idea what's coming? I mean, you just face people with that data, and it's just overwhelming to people because the losses that signifies, the losses that it represents. So there are different stereotypical ways, typical ways. Different communities, different cultures prefer different ways of neutralizing those people who represent tough data, tough questions, but important data or important questions. And in the practice of leadership, one needs to be able to recognize those warning signs. You know, one obvious form of neutralization is physical attack.